Sorry about that. Hello, everybody. Today we will be reviewing Illumination presents The Grinch on Netflix. Um, this movie is animated, and I believe that Illumination did most of the Despicable Me series and as well as the Minions movies. I believe they might have even done the animated Addams Family movie that came out last year. I believe it's so hard to remember because I had been to see so many movies in the last few years in the theater. So I'll have to kind of retrace my steps and review some of those as well. But I'm just going to do Netflix for now to get some content out over the next couple weeks, as Christmas is coming up. So I want to be able to just kind of upload as I go. So that's what we're going to do. This movie was animated. I think I mentioned that already. Sorry, I'm just moving my camera to get a better angle here. It was an okay movie, I guess, as far as the animation goes. Illumination always does a very good job. As many of you know, you probably already know the storyline of the Grinch. So this was basically the same, although I guess it had kind of like its own little twist on it to make it more kid-friendly as opposed to some of the previous films. I believe there is like an old animated one that's about an hour long, maybe. I think it might not even be that long. And then there's the Jim Carrey version, which I will probably do a review of too eventually if I can find it on DVD or Blu-ray. I might already have it, I'm not entirely sure. So maybe I'll take a look and see if I have it somewhere. But yeah, so I'll probably do a review of that one as well because I do enjoy that one more than I enjoyed this one because I just found myself kind of disinterested at certain points in this film. It did take a while to pick up, and certain scenes just kind of seemed to drag out in this one that didn't really need to. The movie probably could have been about 10 or 15 minutes shorter. I personally thought. I think it was almost an hour and a half in runtime, I do believe. And other than that, there weren't too many flaws with this movie. It definitely had some comedic elements. No real adult comedy jokes. Well, actually, that's wrong. There were a couple that kids probably wouldn't catch that the adults will laugh at too. So I guess you get kind of getting the best of both worlds with this movie. Even if you're adult, you can still enjoy some of the humor in it. And obviously, kids will laugh at everything. So it's kind of like a perfect family movie, I guess. Still stands the test of time as one of those movies that can be watched from generation to generation. What else was I going to say about this film? Scenes dragged out, comedy elements. The animation was good. Well, this might be a really a short review. I would say one thing that I found kind of odd about this was maybe the music choice, as opposed to like the old classic Grinch music. It was rap. I didn't really enjoy that as much as the old classic songs that they used in the previous films. Or even if you know the Grinch song, you'll know what I'm talking about. They kind of change it up, I guess, just based on this generation and the popular music they listen to. I guess maybe they were trying to bring in that audience more as opposed to an adult audience or an older audience who isn't really going to enjoy that type of music as much as obviously the younger generation is. I mean, don't get me wrong, I still enjoy my rap, but I just don't think it fit into this movie specifically. Just for the purpose that it kind of, for me, being the age I am now, it kind of took away from the nostalgia of the Grinch as I know it, I suppose. And I guess for somebody who's younger than me, who doesn't really know about the older music quite as much, like a child would obviously steer more towards this, and then they'll have that nostalgia in, say, 15 or 20 years when they're an adult, and I'm sure the Grinch will be remade probably 2 or 3 more times by then, so I guess we'll see how that goes. And then they can look back on that when the music changes in it, and they can say, well, this isn't really what I remember it being. It's changed again, but who knows? We'll see. I would say that this movie wasn't as good as the Jim Carrey version, but that's just me because obviously I've seen the Jim Carrey version a few times, and Jim Carrey's one of my favorite actors, so maybe that's just me being a bit biased. But anyhow, I would say this movie was about a 4 out of 10 for me, just because I think that might be one of my lower ratings for a movie, but that's just because I found myself kind of disinterested and kind of looking away from the screen at certain times and trying to find something else to do. But maybe that's just me. The movie did take a while to pick up, but once it did pick up, it was good. I suppose the kind of storyline was maybe a little bit different than the movie that I'm used to. In the Jim Carrey version, he gets an award and he kind of like slowly becomes a better person. And this one, there were kind of like subtle hints as to him kind of remembering his childhood a little bit throughout the movie, and then it showed a little clip of him as a child. Kind of similar to the Jim Carrey version, but not quite in the same aspect, I suppose. And then Cindy Lou Who's story was a little bit different. Instead of her meeting the Grinch basically right off the hop, she doesn't actually meet him until she devises this plan to capture Santa, and she ends up capturing the Grinch, and then the next morning, of course, all the gifts are gone, and then they do the singing part, and then the Grinch's heart grows, and he tries to go back, and they invite him in for dinner, and that's basically the end of the movie. There was one character who thought the Grinch was his friend, but other than that, I would say, I mean, don't let this review deter you from going to watch the movie on Netflix or anything. This is just my opinion of it, so I would still say go watch it and rate it for yourself, and then come and watch this review, or watch this review if this made you want to see the movie. If it kind of deterred you, don't let it do that. Go watch it, make your own opinion of it. This is just my review, my opinion. So if I give a low rating, that's just me. I'd like to get some feedback in the comments on what your thoughts are on the movie if you've seen it, because it is a couple years old, I do believe now. It's came out in 2018. So yeah, that's all I have to say about this movie. Please like, share, subscribe, comment down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye for now.